Welcome to 10 Forward. Please have a seat. Madam Guinan will be with you shortly to take your order. We hope you enjoy tonight's show. Peace and long life to everyone. Hello, everybody. Very excited to have moved my 10 Forward to Sunday afternoons. I think it's going to be a lot more fun and a lot more flexible for everyone. And I want to thank you two for being here. The guy, as I say, I've seen him make people on Twitter cry, and he just mops the floors with their tears. Jack Beers.
Hello, and this is Bones.
Oh, is that Bones?
Yeah.
And then I have the Golden Apple herself, one of the most excellent, fun people. If you're not sub to her channel, well, you're just wrong. The Heiress of Chaos.
Yeah, if you want to subscribe to my channel, go ahead. It's all good. Thank you.
No, if you're subscribed to my channel, you gotta subscribe to her channel. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know how well that'll work for you, but
It's okay. I mean, it's just a number, man. I'm doing it for the fun because it's it's something I like doing. So it's not. It's all good.
Exactly. That's the same thing I'm in. So, folks, this is MB Geeks. Let's talk 10 Forward Roundtable, and we are talking about, well, quite frankly, a movie that shouldn't have worked. I mean, everything is against the idea of a shared movie universe. It's just not something that's really done. So this shouldn't have worked, but somehow it worked like all hell. And it worked on several levels. One, it had no A-list Marvel characters. They didn't have Spider-Man, they didn't have Wolverine, they didn't have those few A-list characters, like Superman, Batman, those are the A-list. Wonder Woman's the A-list. These were literally C-list characters. Captain America had been around a long time, but not necessarily, very popular at that point. Iron Man, B-list. Uh, Thor, B-list. Hawkeye, Black Widow, C-list. Hulk, Hulk got canceled after the. No, he was C-list. I'm sorry, but Hulk got canceled 6 issues in, and they had to put it into I think it was Tales to Astonish was where you started seeing more Hulk. But don't quote me on that. It might have been Tales of Suspense, but I don't think so. So you had no A-list characters from the Marvel universe, and they had to somehow make this work. And they made it work mainly because the characters did not get along. They did not agree. They had fundamental different views, which I loved. I also loved that they honored the original comic book of the Avengers because in that, Loki is the primary villain in the first Avengers issue, and he actually manipulates the Hulk. And that's what, you know, starts the whole thing. So I love that they honored that aspect of it. And like I said, you're bringing all these characters together, and somehow they don't get along, which is good. And then they have to find a common ground. Doesn't mean that they got along, just means they found a common ground and a common goal. And with that, I'm going to let the lady go next, Jack. Heiress of Chaos, your thoughts.
Well, Avengers is one of my favorite MCU movies, obviously, because, not a big secret, Loki's probably my favorite, one of my top villains of all time. And not just that, but, oh, and hi. Hi, Positive Candor.
Hi, Positive Candor. Yeah, man, I just saw you pop in. Yeah, great to have you. We're talking the Avengers.
Um,
I gave my spill. I'm asking Eris hers.
all right. So, and honestly, ever since Endgame came out, I think he is the villain, the best villain the MCU has to offer. It's obviously my favorite Loki outfit too. I think it's pretty awesome. Tom Hiddleston does a wonderful, wonderful job. Um, and it's very interesting to watch. Like, I'm going to kind of narrow my focus specifically on his journey through this movie because last time we see him is, if you want to count the after credit scene, he seems to be wandering Earth, after the Thor movie, and he seems to already have possessed the Doctor. But it's like kind of the question of what, why is he quote unquote possessing people? Like how is that not the power that we didn't see at all like in Thor? Um, and we kind of get a taste of really what's happening. It's not explicitly said, but if you watch you watch the movie enough, it's kind of hinted at when he's first shown. Um, when he's kind of brought into the picture from Nick Fury in like a little shield warehouse area. Um,
Oh, that smile on his face.
Not just that, but his eyes are blue, which is the exact color of everyone's eyes that is possessed by the Tesseract. And so you kind of start piecing things together, and he was tormented. Like I know people think that he fell to Earth, and that's why he looks like that. He went through space. It's like no, he was actually tormented by the Centauri, and he's not just he didn't just gain this army out of like sheer dumb luck, right? Just because he fell through space. It was like, no, this man was completely tormented emotionally, physically, mentally, and he's kind of possessed by them too. And so he's not exactly entirely in his own in a sane state of mind, which kind of also shows off, it's like his behavior, his usual mischievous trickster like behavior is amplified by like a million, which isn't quite shown again on that level and the rest of it because he is possessed. And it's just very interesting to watch like his dynamic with all the characters. What he does to Hawkeye has ramifications, obviously, throughout the other movies that it's hinted at. And obviously, if you ever watched the Spider-Man: Homecoming, it had what happened in New York City. Led to what happened in Spider-Man: Homecoming. What happened in New York City also led to what happened in some of the other the TV shows. Hint at it. They call it the incident. Yeah, exactly. And so it's like this little drop in the pond that just ripples out. Is this like one event that is actually is even bigger than is continued to talk about and continued to be referenced throughout like the rest of the MCU and also in other series too. It's fascinating from that level. And also, yeah, this movie is something. It is what is it called? A lightning in a bottle. They captured lightning in a bottle, and they in other movies from other different companies and their own little universe. They've tried to do this and they can't. And I don't know if it can be done again. It is something entirely special. And I don't know about y'all, but the only MCU piece of music I know is the Avengers theme. I don't know any other piece of music, but that theme I think has reached a level of iconic. Not maybe it's like the Imperial March or Jaws, but it is certainly
I
up
was
there.
gonna say the Imperial March. I mean,
Certainly
you
up
want to talk
there.
about iconic?
Dun, 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 copyright.
That Alan Silvestri who did that. He also did Back to the Future. music as
Oh
well.
God,
And so
I love
this,
Really?
those
so
movies.
so they picked the right people to do these to do the right actors, the right
Oh
music
yeah,
people, everything.
perfect.
Harris, I gotta say, I have never heard your version of Loki
Hmm.
from the Avengers. That was, and I was actually spellbound a little bit. I was like, I have never heard this. I didn't. You were just doing it so well. I was like, okay, okay, okay.
I mean,
Yep.
I have
Can I
a
get some more?
cardboard cutout of Loki in my room. I'm a small fan. I actually have this scarf, and I'll have to take a picture and show it. But I have this scarf that he wears before he tells everyone in Germany to kneel. That scarf where he's walking around in the suit, that silk
Yeah.
scarf. I actually have that. I have a replica
Now
of it.
I gotta be honest. I wish I
Right,
could
I'm
rock a
I'm dead.
suit as good as he did. I'm sorry.
I'm not me too.
I may be a straight man, but I appreciate a decent looking male, and I
Don't
will
we all?
highlight those things.
I
And I'm
Tom
like,
Hiddleston
that
slick.
man rocks a suit like he could have, and I'm Italian by
Mhm.
heritage on my mother's side. So I was like, dude, he looks like an Italian gangster, and I'm like, that rocks.
Can you believe that hair? The hair that he wears, it looks so perfect for him. It's a wig, and it blows my mind every time that I have to think about it. It's not his real hair at all. Like I really thought that was his hair. It just like because it fit. Everything about it fit. I don't know. I was just like, yes, love it.
And
Ew.
and to think that Tom Hiddleston actually, when he first auditioned for Thor, he
Hmm.
auditioned as Thor.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Yeah,
It's so fun. Oh, that audition tape's hilarious. So if
Oh,
y'all want
it
to watch
is,
it.
but you know what? It's so great that he got to be Loki. He got to be one of the greatest. He's a very icon. I mean, Loki in Marvel Comics is a
Hmm.
very iconic villain. Thanos, Galactus, and Loki,
Hmm.
and that one from the Fantastic Four. I keep forgetting.
Doom.
Not Galactus. I already said
Doom.
Galactus.
Doctor
No,
Doom.
not
yeah.
Doctor Doom.
What would I do?
No,
No.
the
Silver Surfer. Blah. Whatever.
no, not the Silver Surfer.
Well,
It's
that's
a
my
guy in
knowledge.
another dimension.
If you say
It's a guy in
purple
another dimension.
Valkyrie
Anyway,
three, if you
that's
say
complete.
purple Valkyrie 3 times, she'll probably come in and tell you the correct answer.
Purple Valkyrie, Purple Valkyrie, Purple Valkyrie.
All right, did it work? Nope. Go ahead.
I don't see her in. Maybe
Or
Sammy Joe, Sammy Joe, Sammy Joe.
I
No
know
luck there either.
Clobbering Times would definitely know too. I mean, he's
Oh
a
yeah, I'm
small
sure.
fan of Fantastic Four. Small fan.
Oh, I've got like the pic. I've got the image in my head. I just can't get the name. It starts with an A, and that's all I remember. And
Okay, I'm
I'm sure if I
googling.
looked it up, I'd figure it out. But I'm not going to do it.
Mm,
But with that being said, hey, positive candor. Uh, your thoughts on when you first saw the Avengers movie?
Well, it was to me one of the best ensemble movies that they've ever made. Um, as far as getting all the superheroes together to fight against one, I guess, one basic common villain as being Loki, um, is the obviously the main villain, but there's others as well. But yeah, just getting the whole group together, basically, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Hawkeye, Black Widow, you know, getting everybody together. And even
Yeah,
though some don't have as much of a part in the movie as others, based on their abilities, because which is probably why Hawkeye was the main one to be turned evil, because he's not exactly the strongest Avenger anyway. But but yeah, just I just like the dynamic, especially between because they're always at odds, Steve and Iron Man. They're always at odds, even though they're friends. They're never totally agreeing with each other. Because Steve wants to do everything the right way, and Iron Man is always kind of about, in a way, skirting the rules. kind of to me. From um, so just the dynamic between the two main male leads, which is those two, um, to and then you throw in, the other put in the other characters as well, and just that scene, obviously the main scene where they're all in a circle there in New York City, basically, is the iconic basic scene of the movie, obviously. Um, but just to get to that part where they're all working together finally, but obviously it falls apart later. But and that's the great thing I like about it, that even though these guys are all heroes, heroes are not perfect, and I like how they're in the imperfect parts that they have in this movie. Plus, obviously, you know, um, Captain America: Civil War is really where they become the most imperfect. But this basically leads to that. Even though they win in the end, you can still see the fractured basic dynamic of this hero group that only kind of gets together for that common enemy type thing, and then once that's done, yeah, they have shawarma at the end, but you know, which is a
Oh, I
great,
love that scene. Great
yeah,
scene.
which is, yeah, a great scene as well. Again, of them all in a circle again, which to me, the circle, kind of like the Knights of the Round Table thing, is nobody is better than anybody else. You're all equal in that circle, basically, to me. And I like that, those kind of scenes when they're all in the same group together, kind of in a circle like thing, and they do it again in Age of Ultron, where they doing the hammer try to pick up the hammer scene in a way. Um, but yeah, I just like how they integrate everybody together, but it's not your perfect integration. Everybody's still at odds with each other, and like I said, it's especially between Iron Man and Captain America, that they never ever, to me, get that total, yes, they're friends, but it's never a total, to me, trust between each other and stuff like that. And of course, Age of Ultron sets them, totally apart, and Civil War totally undoes the whole group, basically. But and then, even though the the last two movies, Infinity War, which to me is the best of them all, and Endgame, bring them back, they still never got that dynamic. They still kept that dynamic between Captain America and Iron Man all the time, as to where they're, never quite friends, even though they, got together at the end and everything. But yeah, I just like how these heroes are not perfect. They're human beings. You know, and I like that they have their faults, and I like that they're and all the parts that they incorporate into and it starts, yeah, with the Avengers, you know and everything, as far as them, you know like I said, coming together, but not really being together, if you know what I mean. It's just a kind of
Nope,
like,
I believe I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, it's like you're together to fight, your common enemy, but that's basically it. There still was never a total peaceful, you know, hippie,
Just because you're on the same side, it actually, positive candor.
yeah,
I think I can. Just because you're allies does not mean you're
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. Yeah, being in the military, I wasn't friends with everybody who was in the military.
Oh, hell
Obviously,
no.
yeah. I mean, some people are assholes basically, and some people you get along with,
Yeah.
and I understand that and dynamic and everything. So yeah, it's never in a group of people, even in a special unit, like 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 let's say the SEALs or your special forces or whatever. You're always going to have your alpha, basically your
Yeah.
main guy, and then your you know I hate to say it, but your peons, basically, your expendables, kind of almost. Um, but
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. And by the way, I do want to answer Purple Valkyrie and PCAT. Thank you both. Annihilus. Yes.
Oh, that
That
is
was the
not what
name
I
of the.
pronounced it as.
What's that,
My
Eris?
my mind did not pronounce that like a nihilist. It went a different direction. Um,
Oh,
something. Yep. Yep.
no,
Um, yep.
Annihilus. That's who I was talking about. And yeah, that you were right. Purple Valkyrie knew it, and apparently PCAT knew it. And yeah,
Am I good or what?
that's one of the big villains. Doctor Doom is known, Galactus, but Annihilus was also a big villain in the Fantastic Four. And one of the sad parts is the Fantastic Four has never gotten their due because they were actually considered the first superhero family.
Really?
Yes.
I was
Yes.
always DC growing up, so the MCU was really my introduction to Marvel. So part of me not
Well, it was the first time you had Johnny Storm, Sue Storm, they were brother and sister, and then she eventually marries Reed Richards and becomes Sue Richards, and so they eventually had a child together, and, they became the first really superhero family in regular established comic book issues, for lack of a better term, in canon.
hmm,
So that's why they were referred to as the first superhero family.
interesting.
But Jack, you still here, buddy? All right,
I'm
man.
still
Hey,
here.
all right, cool. Give us your everybody else has had their turn. Give us your take on, Avengers.
I mean, first of all, you guys have pretty much said everything I wanted to point out. But yeah, for me, it was one of those things. What I lo- what got me excited for it at first was the build up. Um, you know, they had Iron Man. For Iron Man, they cast the perfect guy for Tony Stark.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yes, yes. I'm
and
I'm gonna
and
cut you off there real quick. My wife and I have said there's no one who could have played it better.
yeah, I agree. I agree. And it was really lucky for them because while that movie was being made, they had aspirations. Just at that point, it was just hope and aspirations to eventually make an Avengers movie. Of course, they would have to build up to it first. And so when that became successful, and all of a sudden we were going to get like the Thor movie and Captain America movie and everything, um, I started getting more excited for it, even though I was more of a Justice League fan when I was younger than an Avengers fan. I
Nah.
started getting excited for
Yeah.
this. Thor, it was, it was good, but it was one of those things that I didn't really know much about Thor beforehand, so it started getting me more interested. And then Captain America, I knew something about, and then just the way that that Captain America First Avenger movie came out. Um, it was just before the event. It was the last movie they put out before the Avengers, and like I explained how much I liked it in the last stream. How I love how it's a time period piece, and the man's morals are like so rigid, but at the same time, like he's so innocent. Um, you know, And so when when I the idea of putting them all together in a movie, um, I was excited for that. At first I was a little disappointed to hear that the original Hulk was replaced by Mark Ruffalo. But when I saw Mark Ruffalo's performance, I forgot all about. I can't even remember his name right now. The original. Yeah,
I think it's kind of
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I was a little disappointed at first, but when I saw his performance, it was I forgot all about it. Um, there were, and so they came out with the Avengers, and Jesse said, I love the fact that they don't get together. Positive Candor mentioned it too. They don't get along very well. They get along just enough to get the job done, especially between Tony and Steve. They have the biggest rivalry because Steve is the man of authority. He's the veteran. He's the person who is willing to give up his life for a larger cause, while Tony Stark is selfish. He's a philanthropist, but he's selfish. He has an angle on everything. It's for himself a
He's
little bit.
arrogant as fuck.
He's arrogant. He defies authority. He doesn't want to give authority. In the second Iron Man, they're like, "Give us the suit," and he's like, "No, screw you. Let me hack into your systems while I'm at it." Um,
You know, you
so
mentioned, you mentioned Mark Ruffalo, and I don't mean to interrupt, but you mentioned somebody's got some feedback going here.
uh huh.
Okay, looks like it's gone now. When Don Cheadle came in and started taking over the role of who would eventually be War Machine, I
Mm-hmm.
gotta be honest, I didn't know the other guy very well, but when I heard Don Cheadle was replacing him, I was like, ooh, I kinda felt guilty feeling like I like this choice because I
Oh,
like Don Cheadle as an actor. And
okay.
Edward Norton, I really liked him, but you could take that movie and not watch The Incredible Hulk and watch Mark Ruffalo and just assume he shows up in the Avengers movie, and you really don't miss anything.
The
And I
only
mean,
thing
I
you
hate to
the
say
only
it,
thing you missed
I
would be Admiral Ross. That's it.
yeah, but the next time we see him is later, and it doesn't really make a damn bit of difference
They
because
kind of
you didn't
disconnected it from the Hulk because
exactly.
he was
You didn't
he was
have
Secretary of State by then.
yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. You didn't have to see the Incredible Hulk to know anything about this character because it really didn't connect. It didn't matter.
Right.
Uh Ruffalo has a little okay, PCAT. Ruffalo has let me pull this up here.
A little big Bill Bixby in his performance.
Bixby and his
Yeah.
part. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I would
I
agree.
did.
The only thing I wish they had kept from the Incredible Hulk movie that they had put in all the Avengers movie was the green eyes. I thought that was such a good honor to the Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno. And that would have that's just something I wish they had kept. And it's personal, and I mean, I get why I'm not pissed about it, but I would have really liked the green eyes to stay. That was just so iconic. And I don't know about a lot of you, but getting a little off topic here. The Incredible Hulk was my first introduction to a superhero TV series.
Nice. Yeah. For me, it was Batman, the 1960s with Adam West.
I saw that, but I saw it after I saw The Incredible Hulk.
Ah.
What about you, Eris? What was one of your first introductions into cinema superheroes?
Well, my introduction to superheroes in general, if I was talking about like on the screen, not just like silver screen, but just on the screen in general, was Justice
Yes.
League animated series. just something I've talked about countless times. And I think I saw a few other like adaptations of like superhero movies, but The Dark Knight for me changed everything, really, on top of that.
Oh yeah, that was
So,
great.
which
Yeah,
is my
I would
favorite
agree.
movie of all time.
I would agree. The Dark Knight really did change a lot of things. And I think Heath Ledger's performance as a Joker is only slightly has a chance of being equal by Joaquin Phoenix. And for very, very different reasons. But the Joker is also my favorite of all villains. And I appreciate that. Positive Candor, what about you? What was some of your thought into the, you know, TV version of superhero stuff?
Yeah, I would say it was the campy Batman with Adam West and the black and white Adventures of Superman with George Reeves. Definitely watched
Oh
that.
God, those were so good.
Yeah, yeah, it was black and white. I think for the first
Same with
couple
me.
couple seasons, and then I think it changed the color for like maybe the
I
last
think
season
two
or
seasons. I think the
yeah,
last two seasons it went to color.
yeah. I think it was four altogether, so it was split with two black and white, two color, if I'm right. But whatever. Um, that was definitely the Adventures of Superman with George Reeves. It was between that and Batman, which one I saw first, can't really remember.
Oh no, that's
I
Um,
remember
understandable.
I remember seeing it on Nick at Night, the Superman.
Oh, Nick at
Uh,
Night, man,
yes, I remember
throwback.
seeing it on Nick at Night, and that was my introduction to the George Reeves Superman. And so I was like in third grade, and I would sit there and watch it. Um, I was watching Nickelodeon anyways, and then it just went all the way into the night.
Well, I mean, I
But it
watched it. Yeah, I mean, I watched it in the '70s when it was um, maybe on the first reruns, I
right,
imagine, or so. Don't know
right.
which,
Yeah.
don't know what
But
channel it was on or whatever, but same with Batman.
well,
Um,
if I'm gonna show my age here, I'll talk about the fact that when I watched Nick at Night, it was Donna Reed, Patty Duke Show, Mr. Ed, My Three Sons, Green
Dragnet,
Acres,
Green Acres,
Dragnet, you damn right. But
Get Smart.
where I was actually going with that was where it may sound like we got off topic here. We actually didn't. We are talking about, stuff that defined comic book movies or animation TV series is as we know it. That's why I was asking everybody's first experiences that they can think of when it really picked up. And, Eris talks about Justice League. I have Justice League, I have Justice League Unlimited, I have
So
Batman, I have
good.
Batman Beyond. And I swear, I want a Batman Beyond movie
Me
so
too.
bad.
Same.
Not right now. It can wait. I'll be patient. Things need to get back to Sanityville in Hollywood before we start.
No, no,
Well,
no. I will give you that. Yes. But I would love a great Batman Beyond movie. Just, give me, you know what? Give me a
but
TV movie.
but but Bruce Wayne has to be played by who? Michael
Michael
Keaton.
Keaton?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. The only thing that I would say is if it was, okay, I'm going to say this. If we got a Batman Beyond movie, who would you rather have? Michael Keaton or Kevin Conroy?
Oh man. Okay, Michael Keaton's visually, but have Kevin Conroy just voice over him. How about that? That would be good. I'd do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do that. Whatever. Yep. That makes sense.
good answer.
Compromise.
But what I was going with is, we got something very special in different versions of superhero shows, uh, via TV shows, whether they be George Reeves, Time of Superman, uh, The Bright Knight, Batman. You know what? I love that show, and I will never not love it because it actually was one of the things that saved Batman.
I got to make Adam West laugh once, and I've always been proud of it because I once made Batman laugh.
Nice.
That that is awesome. I
Yeah,
wish I could have met. I wish I could have met Adam West.
I asked him for beer money,
That's amazing.
and he was like,
Well done.
at first, I don't think he understood the question because he was just like, and I'm like, oh, so you have beer money? And then I think that's where he started getting, and he's like, and he starts laughing, and I'm like, yay! And then after that, he was like, all right, bye bye, and I'm like, bye, thank you for that.
Hey, that's awesome. But I mean, we all had a point where somewhere the comic book industry actually got into mainstream, and it's been there for a long time. But at certain times, it's you, Jack. It struck a chord with you, Positive Candor, and it struck a chord with you, Eris. But they happened obviously different points for different genres for different reasons. But, when that's why I come back to, when we talk about the Avengers, this is everybody's been trying, and I think Eris said it perfectly, lightning in a bottle. You're to recreate what they did uh on different platforms. They went all out. Everybody else has been trying to ride their coattails and they're realizing, oh, we kind of suck at this. Now, look, I'm going to be the first one to admit I'm going to watch the Jack Snyder cut of Justice League. Damn right I'm going to watch it. I want to see it. And
I'm
you know
interested
what?
enough.
Well, I've always said this. I don't give that guy any shit for the movie. His daughter died. He tried. He had to walk away. Family is more important than a job, in my
Agreed.
opinion. So I make no, I never will give that guy crap for the movie. Did I like it? Not really. Will I blame him? Fuck no. Damn near no, never. I will never because there are priorities over work. And I don't care how many fans were like, oh, well, you couldn't suck it up. When I saw somebody actually say that on Twitter, they said, "When you suck it up," I went like, you know what? That's all I got to say to you.
Right.
And I got 3 children. Jack, I know you got kids. I mean, nothing's more important than that. So, you know, let's see what it happens. Will we like it? Hopefully, we'll like it. Hopefully, it'll be better.
I, I,
Um,
I feel like if they keep the plot the way it is, it might still kind of suck. But I did see the trailer that they put out for it, the leaked trailer, and it was actually it got me interested. It got me really interested in seeing what they got in store. I'm curious enough. Um, I didn't mind it too much. I hated the fact that they rushed it. Uh,
See, this is where I kind of fault the industry that's
yeah,
kind of running DC. See, whereas Marvel and Disney and they kind of
they
they
built
did
it
the
up.
complete they built it up, they hyped it up, whereas everybody else between the monster movies and all that stuff in the DC movie. They were trying to play catch up, and it was like, why are you trying to catch up to them? Why don't you try your own thing and make it
Right.
work?
Exactly.
Because,
Focus on your own stuff.
exactly. And that's where the Avengers, and this is where I'm going to pivot back to where we were talking. The Avengers managed to do something that shouldn't have really been possible. Get all these now roughly A-list actors, because Robert Downey Jr. had already done two Iron Man movies and was, recovering from his previous life that we all know about. And I give the man all the freaking props in the world for being able to overcome that, because I
True.
have seen it firsthand with my oldest child overcoming addiction. And the worst thing a parent can do is nothing, because there's nothing we can do. But, I gave the man all the props in the world. And he really did a damn bang up job. And then when they kind of, you get to Samuel Jackson starting up, and it's starting up with the Avenger Initiative, we're like, are they, I remember seeing that. I'm like, are they fucking serious?
When I first saw that scene, I was like, "Oh, they might. Is that where they're going for? That would be cool. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that." And of course, when we saw it, it was amazing. I mean, I wanted to mention the music that especially that one part, the dun 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 dun.
Hmm.
Um, I think we now have been programmed like I think we have like a Pavlovian response to just cheer or just our heart races or something when that music opens up. We're watching the movie and it opens up, especially in Endgame. I think they did a good job incorporating it into Endgame. How they did it.
We'll
You know,
get to Endgame
yeah,
eventually.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we were. I mean, like just that first time they do it, and the camera circles around all of
Yes.
them, and
Mm-hmm.
it is an icon. Just that scene, like that whole that shot is iconic. Um,
Yes, it is. Um,
yes.
and with that, Eris,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think was your favorite? What was your favorite scene? I'm gonna transition out. We're gonna all go through, but
Oh
what
my
what
god.
was your favorite scene from the movie? Or your favorite scenes? You don't have to just name one, because
Let's
I got a
see.
couple I'd love to talk about.
Let's see. All right. Hmm. I don't. I like. Okay, so there's obviously the classic scene where they're all together and they're standing in the middle and they have their backs facing to each other. That's iconic at this point. And they're about to start fighting. Anytime where two characters are doing combos, you know, I love that. Um, they're kind of playing off of each other in order to get the job done. Um, I think an underrated scene is um, I think an underrated scene is when Black Widow and Hawkeye fight each other, and that's totally mirrored in Endgame
Yeah,
for different reasons.
yeah.
Let me see. Another one I love the moment they become the Avengers, which is not the scene on the ground at New York. It's when they find out that Coulson died. A character that really didn't it
Yes.
was barely like a minor character. I mean, he kind of scraped by in the minor character category. And then of course finding out later that that was kind of that he did die, but it was fabricated. Um, Having those cards there as a way to motivate them to become the Avengers. Um, well, it seems like that really showed off who Nick Fury, but what Nick Fury was willing to do in order to get the job done, which really enhanced his character. Let's see. Gotta love Shakespeare in the Park. Love that scene. um, let's see what else. Um, I love anytime Tony Stark and Bruce Banner are together, doing the silent bro
Yes.
shit like that. They're so intelligent. I love that they actually let them work together. You know, um,
I gotta be honest, Harrison. I'm gonna let you continue here, but I gotta be honest. I really like Edward Norton, but I think Mark Ruffalo and Robert Downey Jr. just had a chemistry the way they went back and forth that I don't think Edward Norton could have done.
yeah, I think that was lost later though, which is kind of a bummer. Um, that chemistry seemed to get lost as the movies progressed, which yeah, I really didn't like. Um, as they kind of the whole character kind of got deteriorated as the movies went on too. Um,
You mean their relationship?
no, just the character of the Hulk kind of got
Oh,
slowly instead of it
Yeah.
really building up, it kind of slowly but surely like he became more of a minor character than pretty much anyone else, and they just kind of they didn't give him his spotlight moment. They kind of just threw development in there, like all of a sudden in order to get out of Hulk mode he had to get lullabied by Black Widow and that, like, you know what I mean? It's like that kind of, and you look at those kind of moments and they kind of slowly but surely you get what you get in game, and it's kind of like I know Professor Hulk and everything, but it just it didn't seem right what they did to him. But I think in this in Avengers, that is it's a really good interpretation of who Hulk was. I mean, kind of the fears of it. Oh, Black Widow actually getting to be Black Widow, they do
mm-hmm.
also kind of deteriorate her character a little bit more throughout the movies, particularly in Endgame as well. Um, she she literally on the phone, and then she's being interrogated, right? And they're like obviously wanting to torment her, and she's on the phone and just like fine, like, and you realize like, oh, she was actually interrogating them, and like then just easily defeats them and just kind of walks out like, yep, all right, anyway. That was
Yeah,
annoying.
once she knew it was Barton,
Yeah,
she's like, she just kicks the shit out of those Russians, and I was like,
like
oh, that
immediately,
yeah, well,
that's her
as
Yeah.
the
that's
guy
the real
who's
Black
like,
Widow.
She was always in
and
control.
Yes, that's
yes,
the real Black Widow.
yes,
That's the real
and
Black Widow.
she even displayed that in Iron Man 2, and I
Mhm.
loved it. And I
Mhm.
loved
That
the
got
character, and
lost. Yeah.
I want to see the Black Widow movie. I
Well,
really do. I just,
uh,
I don't.
yeah, in a way, her character grew more in the Captain America movies than it did in Avengers movies.
True. Especially
yes,
especially
yes,
the
I
Winter
would
Soldier
agree
one.
with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you think, Eris? Do you agree with Positive Candor in that?
Um well, it's funny. They refuse to give her an origin movie until of course now. But it's almost like we've been on so much with this character already that the origin story does seem kind of useless at this point, which is why I'm not probably not going to go see it. I don't know.
I didn't.
It
I heard it was actually a not an origin story, but it takes place after Civil War.
wait.
Yeah, that's
Well, then what
where
the hell's the
it was.
point? Right?
What was the point of Captain Marvel?
Well, she
Oh
did have
God, I'm not.
technically a role to play.
Because
I
my
just
friend
think they
needed
did
to
it
be in the
wrong.
movie.
So sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, no. It's cool. But yeah, I mean, Avengers, I mean, by all accounts, could have failed horribly because you're trying to get a bunch of these actors together. They've got, you know, kind of big salaries, and you've got to make something that's going to appeal to people to make them want to come. Now, granted, a lot of people are going to go opening night. But as we all know, we're not Rotten Tomatoes people. We're word of mouth people. We go to the people we trust to tell us if something is worth our time or not. And this movie just, I mean, yeah, you have the iconic scenes where they're all together, but like we've all said, their dynamic differences of opinion are what make it great, and it continues all the way to Endgame. I mean, it never just is like, oh, we're all good buddies now. We're all kumbaya, my lord. Yeah, give me a break. No, they never got there because that is completely unrealistic. So they managed to get lightning in a bottle in the Avengers, and then they managed to expand it into Ultron, Civil War, and I don't care if people call it Avengers 2.5. It was fucking awesome. And then, Infinity War Endgame, and then what I call the coda is Spider-Man Far From Home. So if everything after this sucks, I can stop right there and I'll be a happy fucking man.
Yeah.
But they managed to and I'm gonna give we're gonna go through final thoughts here. I was surprised that they managed to give everybody adequate screen time, adequate fun, adequate humor, adequate diversity, adequate just managed to balance it out. Even with, you know, characters, with sorry, Mark Ruffalo being the replacement. But it worked out because none of them had worked with Edward Norton before on the movie The Incredible Hulk, so it worked out better. And I'm not gonna lie, I think Mark Ruffalo played a better Bruce Banner. Sue me, and I like Edward Norton. I mean, come on. First rule about Fight Club.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Thank you. Second rule about Fight Club.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
And if this is your first time here, you have to fight. Guys, thank you very much. I love these streams. I love hanging out with you guys. Thank y'all for coming. I'm actually glad I moved this to Sunday because I got to have more people on than I've had in the past on my Mondays. So it's gonna work out better, I think. Jack Beers, Positive Candor, Harris Chaos, everybody in the chat, PCAT, Purple Valkyrie. Thank you all for coming in. I had a fun time, and I hope you guys had a fun time too. If you have anything to plug, go ahead and do it. Jack, do you have anything to plug other than making people on Twitter cry?
Nah, just my Twitter account. Way too much beer.
I love that.
I will
Oh,
be. I
I've
will. I
been
will be doing Star Trek ratings for Discovery next couple of
Really?
weeks. I'll be following those.
Good luck.
oh you do know damn well that after we get done with LDS, Jack, we're gonna have to do Corks Bar and talk about the third season of Discovery.
Well, they
Come
did
on,
say
man.
they did advertise like 20 something weeks of Star Trek, and I that's when I realized, oh well, if it's like 10 episodes, 12 episodes of Lower Decks, then the next stuff is of course going to be Discovery.
But you know what? We're gonna hate watching it, but just like when we're in LDS, we are gonna have a blast talking about it.
We should we should actually have a thing like a week before talking about the first couple seasons before we get into it.
Oh, okay. You know where to find me, buddy. You know how to DM me. No. We can do that. We can definitely do that. This is my favorite guy to hang out with in my Corks bar. He has been with me from the beginning, and he is just awesome. And I tell you what, when he's on Twitter and he sends out stuff, I've seen people just try to attack him, and he just kicks their ass like a samurai. I'm sorry, bud. I gotta give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, you know, I noticed that when the logic goes away, or whatever their arguments are, once they get past those arguments, they kind of move on to personal insults. And my favorite time because this is about the Avengers, my favorite time doing that was just before Avengers Endgame came out, because I saw the Endgame leaks.
Oh,
Because
okay.
when they try to attack me, anyone who tried to attack me after that, I responded with Endgame leaks. Got me blocked
I
by
could
lots of
believe it.
people.
I could believe it from you, buddy.
Yeah, once they
Uh,
started getting nasty, that's what I would do.
all right. Positive candor. Do you have anything coming up that you'd like to plug?
No, not really, but I do like. I want to mention one other scene, just real fast, and that's the Hulk slamming Loki scene, which is very
Oh
funny.
yes, that was great.
Yes.
Oh my god. Puny
Also,
god.
also that one scene where Hulk and Thor are fighting together, and then they take that break. They have a breather, and then Hulk just bounce punches him.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did. Oh god, we did not talk about those. No, positive candor. Yeah, that was a great scene. It was just like, and then he was like, "Puny god."
Yeah, that's the scene that always gets the laughs in the theater or
That's funny.
whatever.
Oh, it did. It did in theater I was in. Yes. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, thanks for having me on, and yeah, I'll come on and discuss Discovery because I actually like I mean I like season one better than season two Discovery, but I do like Discovery.
Really
Yeah,
interesting, fascinating.
yeah.
Okay,
I mean
cool, nice.
I like season one. Like I said, better than season two. Season two was way more off the rails. So because yeah, I really like Lorca um in season one more than and way
You
more
know,
than Pike.
I can understand that. Jason Isaac is a really good suck that I kind of figured out exactly who he was by 5 minutes in. I knew he was Mirror because they were promoting, we're going to go to the Mirror Universe. I was like, shit, Jason Isaac's a Mirror guy.
But
Well,
once he was
that has more to do with the writing
yeah
than him, I think.
yeah once he squirted that
Oh,
stuff in.
no. I'm not blaming. Hey, I'm going to be the first one to say this. I don't blame the actors. The actors only can do the best with what they have in the script and the direction and the production and the editing. There's a lot of parts. I don't believe in blaming everything on the actors. You know, I like Jason Isaac, and I wanted to like Discovery. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to like Picard. Hell, Jeff, you and I sorry, not Jeff. Jack, you and I yeah, I called you Jeff.
That's fine.
Sorry about that. Uh Jack, you and I even said we wanted to like Star Trek Lower Decks. we
I wanted to
wanted
like
to enjoy.
I wanted to like every show that they came out with, but once you watch it, it's not it's not the Star Trek that you remember. It's not the Star Trek that once comforted you. It's not the Star Trek that taught you things when you were, younger and stuff like that. It's a Star Trek that feels like it's like a pretentious version of Star Trek.
Okay, I just realized we've been talking and I haven't ended the broadcast, so
Oh,
I'm gonna end the broadcast. Everybody have a good one.
Yep.
Peace and long life. Live long and prosper.
Bye.
bye-bye.